Hello everyone! Today we're going to look at ways of searching through the Minerva and MaineCat library catalogs. As a Freeport Community Library patron, you have access to more than just what we have here in the building. The Minerva Consortium is a lending agreement between more than 50 Maine libraries, and the MaineCat system links nearly 100 libraries. You might have tried to order a specific item before and gotten tripped up along the way, or you've never tried and wanted to, so we're going to go over some tips and tricks for successful searches. There's a lot of information in this video, so if you're interested in just one aspect of it, I've broken the video down into sections in the video description along with timestamps so that you can skip. Okay, here we go. Alrighty, so we want to start our journey on the library homepage, freeportlibrary.com. So I've got it in here at the top in a web browser. We can access the Minerva Library Catalog two ways. The first way is in this green bar here at the top. We can click on Catalog. And the second way, we can search our catalog down here by putting in keywords and hitting Search Minerva. You might notice here that it is set on keyword as the default. And we recommend that you keep it there. Sometimes searching by author or title makes the search results less clear. There's more information on the page when you search by keyword. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to go to the catalog. And I'm going to look for an item that I want to see if we have. So let's see, N.K. Jemisin just came out with a new book, so let's look for The City We Became. And the default is also on Freeport Community Library. It's a good place to start. Let's hit Submit. So since we're on a keyword search, we can see all of this extra information. So we see the format here. So this was a book, and this is a book. This is not the book, second book we're looking for. The first one is, there's also a lot of hyperlinked text, which means text that you can click on. In this view, a lot of stuff that looks like you might be able to click on it. It's very confusing. We really only want to go for the title. So we're going keyword search and title, City We Became. So if we own a copy, it's usually here at the top, Freeport New Books, and we can see that the status is available. It's on the shelf right now. If we wanted to place a hold on this item, then we're going to go to the top left request. It should have this red check mark button. You can see all this other information. You can click on the call number, the libraries. You don't want to do that. We're going to click on request. So here you're going to put in your name. My name is Megan, and you're going to put in your barcode. Here we go. And my request was successful, which means it's going to be pulled either by the Freeport Library tomorrow morning or by another library in the state, and it's going to start heading to you. Since we've just placed a hold on an item, this is a good place for some reminders about holds generally. When a reserved item is ready for you, you will receive a phone call or email notification, depending on what you've signed up for. And you will have 7 days to pick up your materials, after which they will be reshelved or sent back to owning libraries. These are some of the rules that we agree to be part of as part of the Minerva Consortium. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that the Minerva Library Catalog is also your library account portal. So you do have the ability to do a lot of your own work, independent work, on your library card, should you so choose. So there's two ways to get to your account. We can click on My Account in the top right green bar on freeportlibrary.com, and we'll get redirected to that page, or if you are somewhere in Minerva, you can always get to the homepage by clicking on the top left owl if you always want to go to the homepage. And we can also go to top right, My Library Account, and go to the same login page. So let's log in and just take a look around. So this is our dashboard for our library card. So you've got your name, address, contact information. We can see that Freeport Community Library Movie Events has 1 item currently checked out. We can see the call number when it's due. If you ever need to renew, you can click the check mark and renew marked, or just renew all. We can see holds, active holds that we have. The status available means it's on the shelf, but it hasn't been pulled yet. And we can cancel it if we'd like to do so. Reading history is pretty nifty. So as a rule, libraries don't collect any personal information. That's not what we're about. But through the Minerva Library Catalog, if you want, you can opt into your reading history if you would like to keep track of the items that you're reading or watching. And pretty easy. I clicked opt in and now I am opted in. And I can opt out just the same. It can't retroactively see your history because then that would mean it was collecting information on you. But starting from this moment, you will accumulate a reading history and can opt out at any time and erase that information. Pretty cool. So if Minerva is so great, then when does MaineCat come into play? Well, MaineCat can give you access to more academic texts or perhaps more archaic texts because a lot of the participating libraries in MaineCat are academic libraries and university libraries. It's also good to remember that Portland Public Library lends through MaineCat, meaning you're not going to see any of their items in the Minerva catalog, only in MaineCat. And they have a lot of music, for example, that you're just not going to see unless you search through MaineCat. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself, so let's just do a search. Let's, for some music, for example, let's look for the eponymously titled Highwomen by the Highwomen. Let's search for that, see what we get. Okay, great, that was easy. So let's look at all the information available. So we can see here on the left that the format is music, and we've got the author, Highwomen. We've got the title, The Highwomen. We can see that 5 libraries have it. And we're able to request these because some of them are available on the shelf. So let's request that. Again, the red check mark. And we're going to specify Freeport Library. You'll notice that this way of requesting a hold just looks a little bit more different, and it asks where your home library is, which is different from Minerva. But again, you're just going to put your information in. Alrighty, and it was successful. So same thing, you're going to get a notification via phone or email when this item is ready for you to pick up. And quickly, just some things to remember with MaineCat that make it a little different than Minerva. Sometimes MaineCat items can't be renewed, but also sometimes you get a bonus 4-week lending period instead of the usual 3. And also you cannot place a hold on an item if it is not available on the shelf, and you need to check back periodically until a library in MaineCat is showing that they have one on the shelf, and then you can put in a request for it. I hope this introductory guide to placing holds online in the Minerva and MaineCat library catalogs was useful to you today. If you need additional help or explanation, you're in luck because we specialize in helping. We are always available by phone, and you can also stop by in person when the building is open. Happy searching!